So as we now make our way into the final superheat of the morning's action before we take a quick lunch break, and then we have the final races of the day. But let's focus on this one. Senior Rotax superheat with Kai Hunter and Lorenzo Cordal taking it away from the front row of the grid. From Alex Moody, Pearson Bullock Carter, Tristan Reddy, Lucas Ellingham and Jack Bate, with Leo Purchase, Matthew Lambert and Thomas Wood in 10th position rounding out the 5th row of the grid. 6th row is going to be Scott Mackerel from Callum Ginder, then Oliver Duffel and Philip Rawson, with Charlie Pritchard and George Hunter on the 8th row. Then 9th row is going to be Stephen Napier and Angus Scrivener. Jack Lilly and Gabe Fairbrother will round out the 10th row of the grid. Then it will be Ramarion Ubi. Then it will be Stephen Duncan, James Tester. Then it will be Thomas Liatux. Then it will be Thomas Lee and Jay Pearson running out the 18th row. 19th and 30th row, 19th and 20th row of the grid will just go off our screens, but I can tell you that it is going to be Lucas Ivascaruzes. Then it will be Asa Pinder, then Isaac Lord and Gavin Dewitt rounding out the 30 drivers on the grid on the 15th row. We saw a false start that time round, which means the drivers will have one more formation lap to get themselves prepared for the start of the race, something that the stewards and race control weren't happy with. Maybe the drivers just a little bit out of formation, maybe a little bit too fast coming across the start-finish straight, but whatever it was, we'll send them around once again, and the drivers will have to be extra cautious this time round to make sure that they're ready for the race start. Kai Hunter there, our championship leader, starting it from the front row of the grid. He's had 2 wins and an 8th position. So Kai Hunter, he's a force to be reckoned with so far. He's won last time round at Warden Law. That was in his back garden of that circuit. Now he's off home ground and he's still proving to be one of the fastest drivers in the circuit. Lorenzo Cordal seems to want another formation lap as he decides not to pull up alongside Kai Hunter. A little bit of a gesture there from Hunter to say, what's going on here? Why are we doing this? But we'll go around once again. And Lorenzo Cordal, is this strategic or is there a problem as it looks like he's slowing down? I could have been wrong there. That could have been a different KMS car. But is that Lorenzo Cordal? We'll see the numbers. No, it isn't. That's the 88 of Alex Moody. So the teammate to Lorenzo Cordal, Alex Moody, will slow down, and that will be him pulling off the circuit. Was supposed to start 3rd position, so a nightmare there for Alex Moody. He'll not take to the start of this race, and will slow down once again. Will Lorenzo Cordal want to go around this time? Will he want to go green this time round, or will Kai Hunter lead us for another false start? I hope we go green this time round. We see a lot better formation on this lap as we're a lot slower. Kai Hunter making sure that Lorenzo Cordal was alongside him. We'll accelerate around the final corner there. Kai Hunter still miles in front of the rest of the pack. What is going on here? We'll have another false start, and it seems like the front 2 of Cordal and Hunter just playing mind games with each other here, as we'll go around once again for another false start. That's a 3rd one in a row. So the drivers will have to sort it out. What time will be taken off their race? I think that's how how it works here in the Ultimate Karting Championship. Kai Hunter, we've seen on the past 2 rotations off the circuit, has wanted to get going, but Lorenzo Cordal has had other choices and other decisions to make, as he's been slowing down purposely to let Kai Hunter go. So there is another formation lap, maybe something that Cordal's not happy with. Maybe trying to give time for his teammate to get going again, but it's just not going to happen there for Alex Moody. Heartbreak for him, and it will be a 30th and a DNF there for the 88 of the KMS Motorsport driver. So around the final corner we go. Will we go green this time round? Kai Hunter being eager on the acceleration. There's a red flag. Red flag will stop the drivers on the front row here. Now, I'm sure there'll be a little bit of a word given to our 2 starting drivers here, as Lorenzo Cordal and Kai Hunter will have a slap on the wrist here from the steward on the track. That will be our clerk of the course. We'll have a discussion with the marshals of how to elaborate this situation and how to clear up the situation itself. Maybe having a bit of a discussion about what the issues were that were causing the false start in the first place. That's Cordal and Kai Hunter still sitting on the front row of the grid right now. Now, I have seen this happen before. It would be very rare that it happened here, but I have seen it before that after 3 false formation laps that the front 2 drivers have been sent to the back of the grid. It's very, very harsh of a punishment, but it has happened before in other championships. I have never seen it happen here in the Ultimate Karting Championship, and hopefully it doesn't happen here for a first time. It will be heartbreak and a big issue there for Kai Hunter and Lorenzo Cordell. Hopefully it's just a little bit of a telling off there from the stewards, as it looks like that's Kato himself is on the circuit. That is the owner of the KMS team. I wonder why he's made his way onto the circuit. Maybe he wanted to have a little bit of a chat with the stewards and clerk of the course. But Lorenzo Cordell just sitting there, and so is Kai Hunter. The rest of the drivers sitting there eagerly to wait on a decision of what's going to happen here. But with us stopping on the circuit, this is going to remove all of the heat from the tyres of our drivers. You'll go over and have a word there with Kai Hunter. Hunter will plead his case. I'm sure he'll be saying exactly what I will be thinking of, that Cordell has been purposely slowing down, trying to plead his case, showing that he's not guilty to the clerk of the course and to his not stewards. I'm sure that drivers will do that all the time. But Kai Hunter just having a word there with the clerk of the course, and so is Lorenzo Cordell with one of the marshals, as just explaining the acceleration line there. And Lorenzo Cordell will have a slap on the wrist as well from one of the marshals, as the clerk of the course will make his way over as well to speak to Lorenzo sitting on the grid. So the driver's still sitting there waiting. A little bit of a shake of the head there from Kai Hunter, so he's not happy with something about this situation. Kai Hunter looks like he's been wanting to go, and it looks like he's been wanting to get ready for the last couple of rotations, but a bit of an issue there, which will very shortly be sorted out here by the marshals. They've done a good job at speaking to the drivers, and I'm sure the issue will be resolved as soon as possible. Everyone now just making their way around the circuit, as Lorenzo Cordell and Kai Hunter will still be leading the field away. You can see there was Lucas Ellingham in the background there speaking to one of the marshals, maybe trying to plead his case as well in comparison to the drivers, as he's still continuing to speak to one of the marshals there on the grid. As everybody just getting ready for the restart, as they've been sitting on the track so long here. All of the heat will have exited their tyres. They'll have one more formation lap, I'm sure, to sort themselves out and sort out their karts and tyres as well, to hopefully go racing next time round. As some drivers in the background there just having a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a wander, and a speak to the grid marshals as well, as these drivers will have been sat in their cars for quite a period of time already right now, and definitely delaying the start of this race by quite a multitude of minutes, as everybody just having a speak and having a talk through what's going on. You can see in the background there, the photographer, I'm sure will get some great shots of the drivers all lined up here on the grid. It'll be a world of day for him. So we're still getting ready for everyone to get going. And the clerk of the course is called over here by the stewards. Not the stewards, sorry, that is the grid marshals. And a couple of drivers now taking the decision to get out of their carts and have a wander over, whether it be their team on the sideline or whether it be the marshals up at the front of the grid. But I do wonder, with this being a red flag and with it being counted as a full restart, will that mean that Alex Moody is able to get back into the action, as he broke down on the formation lap? He broke down before the start of the race. The race has not started yet, and a red flag has been called. So Alex Moody, maybe this was a strategic... I hate to say this, but it is a theory of mine that maybe this was a strategic chance here by the KMS team to get Alex Moody out back on the circuit. But obviously that's just speculation of what's going on the track right now. But everyone will get going again, as one driver looking to readjust their front bumper. Maybe that's what Lucas Ellingham was speaking to the grid marshals about, and maybe that's what he was trying to figure out. If he was able to reset his front bumper, it looks like he was managing to do so, if that was the case. But maybe more than one just issue, maybe more than just the one issue of drivers not being able to get going on these formation laps, as there's been quite the stoppage time that we've had of the drivers here on the grid. The photographer there getting a few good shots of the drivers as they're lined up on the start-finish straight. And there we can see our stewards and clerk of the course all having a good talk about what's going to happen and maybe the plan of action going ahead of what these drivers are going to do and what the resolution is of the problem that we've had at hand. So as we're still just sitting patiently, waiting for everything to get going. If you're watching on YouTube, watching on Twitch, or maybe even watching on Facebook, make sure to get your messages in and get a couple of shout-outs in for your favorite drivers, as we do have quite a bit of time to have a read through the messages and see what's been going on. I do once again have the very tough decision of making the choice of who's going to be driver of the weekend at the end of the day. So make sure to get in your nominations for driver of the weekend, and I'll make sure to read your cases, make sure to give a reason why, as well as the driver in their class. So as everyone gets going again, we can see a message from Macy saying she's very proud of Ralphie Branscombe. Yeah, it was a great race there from Branscombe in the previous race. The number 96 done a great job of fighting his way back through the field. But talking about fighting, let's get back to it here with the senior Rotax as they accelerate off the line, and we'll hopefully get racing this time round. If we have another false start, I'm sure there'll be even more problems there for the marshals to deal with. But I'm sure that's not the driver's intentions at all as they make their way around the circuit and down the home straight. We'll have just one formation lap for drivers to get heat in their tyres and get themselves ready for the start of the race. They've had plenty of time to get themselves ready for the start of this race. We have Reza Siawufin sending in a good luck message from Michael Lambert and Leo Purchase. Weaving at the front of the grid, already forming up. You can see there's great intentions from the front two drivers for them to get going again this time round, as Kai Hunter and Lorenzo Cordell already alongside each other, as are the rest of the field as well. So around the final couple of corners we go, and fingers crossed, touch wood, that we go green this time round. We'll wait for the acceleration from the front row. Kai Hunter, just wait. Acceleration is a go, and we go green. We go racing. Cordell, you can see there, cutting across. Oh, and contact there as Hunter goes straight on. Cordell tries to squeeze Hunter to the inside there, and wheel-to-wheel contact sends Hunter flying over the first corner. And that does mean that Hunter is now put at a very big disadvantage. I'm sure that will be investigated by the stewards after this race, as Lorenzo Cordell definitely gained an advantage off that one. We go down through the infield section now, as everyone's still battling their way through the field. And now Kai Hunter has a big task at hand if he wants to fight his way back through, as we now go through what is going to be a Lunar Bend, as up towards the Conrad straight and the home straight we go once again. Who is it leading? It's the number 5 seed from last year. Tristan Rennie will lead the field from Pearson Bullock Carter and Lucas Ellingham, of what has been a tough weekend for him so far. A tough 2 rounds it's been previously as well. Didn't have the best of results he would have been hoping for in Warden Law. Finds himself in 3rd position on the circuit right now. Lorenzo Cordell under a lot of pressure from Jack Bate in behind, and Matthew Lambert and Thomas Wood all applying pressure onto the back of the number 2 seed right now. The driver who started on the front row of the grid, who's now in 4th position, needs to keep an eye out for Jack Bate in behind, as Bate has a lot of pressure being put onto the back of him, and he's then applying that pressure onto the back of Lorenzo Cordell as well. So returning the favour down the inside. There goes Pearson Bullock Carter. A great dive and a great move, finds himself into the lead of this race. That now means that Lucas Ellingham is able to be brought into the equation, as Tristan Rennie has dropped down into 2nd position. Lucas Ellingham will now be fighting for the lead of this race. We'll keep an eye on the top 3 as the follow through. And you can see there, that's Lorenzo Cordell losing out on 2 positions. That is Jack Bate, and what is going to be Philip Rawson as well following his way through. So 2 drivers make their way through on Cordell, meaning Cordell has dropped down into 6th position now. It's been a nightmare of a start from our front 2 starters as well. Kai Hunter down in 13th position, and it looks like Lorenzo Cordell is sitting pretty in 6th. Oh, up and over goes Lucas Ellingham as he clips the rear wheel there of Tristan Rennie. Rennie as he tries to go for an overtake. Looks the wheel to the inside and spins around with Tristan Rennie as well. It looked like Rennie's rear bumper has been put out of alignment, so I'm sure there may be a technical flag put out there for Tristan Rennie as well, which means that will be an unfortunate retirement from the race for him. As now into second position, that means that it's going to be Philip Rawson in front of Jack Bate. So Pearson Bullicata leads the way from Philip Rawson and Jack Bate in third. That means that it's now re-promoted Lorenzo Cordell into fourth position. In the midfield we're looking at right now, Kai Hunter's fought his way back into ninth position as we see him carving his way through the field as he is relentless at trying to make these positions back that he's already lost, sorry. So down the old straight we go, down the paddock straight and into paddock bend we go. Through the infield section, Pearson Bullicata still leading the way from Philip Rawson and Jack Bate in third. Everyone still making their way through, just about keeping it in order. You can see in the background there, Lucas Ellingham, after having that contact with Tristan Rennie. Ellingham and Rennie both trying to recover as many positions as possible after they unfortunately made contact on the first corner. After a little bit of a rash move there from Ellingham sent Rennie spinning round as he went over the rear bumper of the car. As we look at going through our picture there, that was Philip Rawson, Jack Bate, Lorenzo Cordell, and then the huge pack led by Scott Mackerel. Gabe Fairbrother there just going through our picture and down the inside. There's a move in the background. That looks like that was going to be the number 8. That's Thomas Wood making up a position. That would be a move on what was the number 80. Sorry, that might have been the 95. No, that's definitely not the 95 of Kai Hunter. It definitely was the number 80 of Matthew Lambert. Yep, so Lambert on that previous lap losing out to Kai Hunter and what was Thomas Wood in front of him. Thomas Wood now losing out on another 2 positions as Lambert and Leo Purchase pierce their way through the field and make up another 2 positions in doing so. Lucas Ellingham looking to try and follow through as well as he's now breathing down the neck of Thomas Wood. Ellingham finds himself in 9th position. Finds himself in 11th position as Thomas Wood has been dropped down into 10th. Thomas Wood now back up into 9th as he's made the move on Matthew Lambert's stick once again. So all of the drivers now following through. We can see at the front of our picture there, that's Kai Hunter all over the back of Gabe Fairbrother. And down the inside for the lead of the race, that's going to be Philip Rawson. That's how you make a move stick at the first corner, as Pearson Bullicata will now drop down into 2nd position. An unfortunate position there for the 75, who was looking to have a start to lights finish. He was looking to maintain that first position the whole way through, but unfortunately wasn't able to do so. So as we go through up at the front end, you can see Gabe Fairbrother, and then in behind him is Scott Mackerel, as Fairbrother's just managed to make the move, and one driver going off there. Who was that in the background? That looked like that might have been the 24 of Stephen Duncan or Charlie Pritchard. Yep, that was the 26, of Charlie Pritchard, who drops all the way down the field, now finds himself down out of the top 24 and now in 26th position. A painful lap there from Charlie Pritchard. Just one mistake in the infield means that he finds himself taken to the grass and taken to a little bit of a rallycross type of drive as he drops all the way down the field. Obviously, these karts work best on tarmac and not on the grass. So it is advised that these drivers stay off that surface. Kai Hunter still stuck in behind Scott Mackerel right now. Kai Hunter seems to hit a little bit of a brick wall in terms of overtaking and making up positions as he finds himself stuck in a slipstream train as well. Scott Mackerel just in front of him, the number 16 with the white helmet. You can't miss him on the circuit. Is still all over the back of Lorenzo Cordell right now as Gabe Fairbrother has managed to make his way through in the 4th position. Cordell, is he going to lose out on 1? But will he lose out on 2? Yes, he will. Kai Hunter makes his way back through. And I'm sure he will have gave him a little bit of a wave on the way through as well. With the contact on the first lap between the 2 of them, Kai Hunter definitely coming off the worst of that one. But he finds himself now back in front of Lorenzo Cordell. He doesn't need any revenge on track. His pace does the talking as he makes his way past the number 2. And he'll now make his way past what is going to be Scott Mackerel as well. That's going to be for 5th position. great recovery drive here from Kai Hunter, as blistering pace he's setting down on the circuit. Doesn't have the fastest lap right now, as that's currently going the way of what looks to be Jack Lilly in 9th position right now. But 2 minutes and 28 seconds remaining on the clock. There's still plenty of time for Kai Hunter to make up a couple more positions if he's feeling up to the challenge. In 5th position he is right now. He needs to gain a couple of attempts to catch onto the back of Gabe Fairbrother if he wants to get 4th, and then a couple of attempts even more to catch onto the back of Jack Bate. Kai Hunter, I said he didn't have the fastest lap. In the end, goes and proves me wrong, as on that previous tour of the circuit, Kai Hunter sets the fastest lap, setting a 41.956. Great time there being set by Kai Hunter. The driver with a target on his back all weekend is currently the driver who has the target on everyone else. He's had a recovery drive of his dreams right now. We saw on the first lap he dropped all the way down to as low as 15th position. He's already made back 10 of those, started on pole as he finds himself in 5th right now. It wouldn't be the worst of outcomes here for Kai Hunter, as obviously he'd still have a great challenge going into the final of the super finals later on today, as we saw a warning flag going out there to the 57 of Isaac Lord as they made their way down the home straight and now down through the S's. In the background there, as Lucas Ellingham, who's also trying to recover his kart after having contact with a driver earlier on in this race. That driver that he had contact with, I can't quite put my finger on the name. It was Tristan Rennie, sorry. The number 5 is currently in 17th position. Ellingham trying to get involved in this battle in front of him, as well as Leo Purchase was fighting it out with Jack Lilly. Jack Lilly's managed to make his way past Leo Purchase, and Purchase loses a lot of momentum as they make their way onto the straight, but Thomas Wood tucked into the slipstream of Lucas Ellingham. Will he look to the inside? He has a little bit to think about it, but thinks better of it, as Ellingham just about stays in front of that battle right now. Kai Hunter all over the back of Gabe Fairbrother, as well, as there was only 3 attempts now separating those two cars as they made their way across the straight. I'm sure even more time has been carved out as they made their way through the first half of this lap. Lucas Ellingham there under a lot of pressure from Thomas Wood, as Wood is trying to find left or right a way through there on the JDR Developments driver. They make their way through the final section of the circuit, and they make their way through Luna Bend as they go down the home straight to start the penultimate lap of the race. Any driver is able to maintain or beat the lap that Kai Hunter's been able to set. No one has, but Kai Hunter still very close to the back of Gabe Fairbrother there. We can see them in the background as they still battle on. Gabe Fairbrother just about holding on to 4th right now, but he still has 2 more laps to do so. 2 more laps, including this lap, I should clarify. But Pearson Bullacata, after losing out to Philip Rawson on the lead earlier on, he's still very much in contention for this win, as he still has the slipstream as they make their way down the Conrad Straight to mark the final lap of the race. Heads down on the steering wheel. It's go, go, go. We're going to push as hard as possible. Will Philip Rawson right now, as the slipstream gives Pearson Bullacata such a large advantage as they make their way down that long home straight. Down through the S as we go. The 75 of Bullacata is on a charge if he wants to make himself into the lead of this race. Philip Rawson will now lead our way into the infield section, but he has glued to his bumper the number 75 of the Jacks Racing driver. We have just a few more corners to go. We can see in the background Kai Hunter still trying to make his way past Fairbrother. Fairbrother trying to make his way past Jack Bate. Bate looking to be safe, and so is Philip Rawson as we come out of the final corner and down the home straight. A celebration there from Philip Rawson, which is very much deserved. A great race there from the 29 to capitalise on all of the chaos going on around him. He'll walk away with the win there in the Superheat for the Senior Rotax, which puts him on great morale going into the final later on today. Philip Rawson will take the win, will the number 29 from Pearson Bullacata, who did not give up till the very final moments of that race. He'll finish in 2nd position from Jack Bate, Gabe Fairbrother, and the fast-charging Kai Hunter, who had an unfortunate start with contact with Lorenzo Cordell from the start of the race, dropped down into 15th, recovers himself into 5th position. What a race there from Kai Hunter. You can't take it away from him at all. Scott Mackerel and Lorenzo Cordell will finish down in 7th position. Rounding out the top 10 will be Jack Lilly, Leo Purchase, and Lucas Ellingham, who finishes down in 10th after having contact with Tristan Rennie for 3rd position. You can see just in front of our camera there is Lucas Ellingham. I'm sure he'll be kicking himself after what seemed to be a bit of a mistake, and a clap there from Tristan Rennie. Just egging on a little bit of conflict between those two drivers. Hopefully nothing takes place there in Parc Ferme, but you can see Rennie is not happy at all with the contact that happened between those two drivers. Lucas Ellingham, I'm sure he'll feel he wasn't at fault, but definitely one driver was at fault. In my opinions, that was the 99 of Ellingham as he rode over the back of Rennie. It was a bit of a last-minute decision for the move, didn't quite make his intentions clear, and the drivers will make contact. And unfortunately, both of them losing out on multiple positions when it could have been a great result for both drivers.